Sir, are you able to listen me, sir? Sir, am I audible? Hello? Sir, am I audible? Sir, am I audible? Sir, am I audible, please?
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yeah, yeah,
Hello.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We will start at 11 o'clock, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Sure. Uh, can you? How
Yes,
much
sir, you're
time do I
audible.
have to?
We will start at 11, sir.
No, I'm saying how much time do I have to speak?
Sir, this up to you. We thought for a 1 hour, sir.
Okay. And are there other people also in this session?
Sir, actually, you are the key resource person today. And from our
Okay.
university, may our chancellor, registrar sir, or pro VC ma'am, teachers will connect to you, and there are students to ask you the questions.
Okay.
It will be
So.
shown to your dashboard, sir.
Okay. So it's more of a question answer kind of session.
Yeah, initially it's a session of yours. You have to talk about the career and chances, what you feel, and then we can take a question answer session, sir.
Sure.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Yes.
Sorry. Greetings from Maths School of Information Technology. Today, 5th September, Teachers' Day. We convey our respect to all teachers connected today. It's teacher who leads, guides, help, scold, and admire their students to move ahead in life. We salute all the teachers who are giving their best efforts to continue the education system during the COVID-19. They have taken all the pains to set the example for students. Thank you, teachers. We salute you. I, Dr. Rita Devanji, welcomes you all in this third session of IT Uddhyamita 2020. I welcome our Chancellor Sir Shri Gajraj Pagaria ji, our Pro VC Ma'am Dr. Deepika Dhan, our Director General Shri Prayesh Pagaria ji, or our respected Registrar Shri Gokulananda Panda ji, heads of the department, teachers, students, and other who joined this session. Today in this series, we are having Mr. Prabhat Malik, IAS Officer, CEO CHIPS, and Director Institutional Finance, Government of Chhattisgarh, to enlighten the session. I welcome you, sir. Please, you. This is the platform for you to please interact and enlighten our students. Sir, Prabhat, sir. Prabhat, sir, please continue the session. Prabhat, sir, am I audible? Please continue the session. Prabhat, sir, am I audible? Please continue the session. Sir, am I audible? Am I audible, sir? There is some technical problems. We will be soon available. Please stay with us.
No.
Sir, am I audible? Prabhat sir, am I
Am I
audible?
audible? Yes, ma'am, you are audible. Am I audible? Let me connect again.
Prabhat sir, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible. Am I audible?
Prabhat sir, am I audible?
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Am I audible?
Prabhat sir, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are.
There is some technical problem. Sir is trying to connect. Please wait.
Hi, am I audible?
Am I audible, sir? Prabhat, sir, am I audible?
Hello. Am I audible, sir? Prabhat, sir? Prabhat, sir, am I audible now?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible. Can you hear me?
Yeah, please. Yeah, please. Please start the session, sir.
Yeah, I'm
All the
sorry, there was
peoples are
technical
already
connection.
unable to hear you. Yeah, please start.
Hi, I welcome everyone, and I thank Mark University for giving me this platform to talk about my personal story as well as to interact with you on careers and chances we take to build those careers. Uh, I think to start with this lecture, I would briefly give you my background. Uh, I I did my schooling from Haryana. Uh, I completed my 12th in non-medical background. Post my schooling, I went for engineering. Uh, Now I think there's someone else's mic is open. Can everyone else cut their mic? Okay. So I went from my school to one second. Yeah. So I went for engineering to IIT Kanpur. Post my engineering, I then worked for 6 months in ANZ Bank in Bangalore, and after that, I appeared for UPSC. In my first attempt, I got into IRS income tax,
एक मिनट
and
आ ही रहा हूँ मैं।
in my second attempt, I cleared IS and was allotted Chhattisgarh cadre. Uh, I think so. Basically, I've had an education in engineering. I've seen private sector, especially the financial services sector, for around 6 months, and post that, I took a conscious decision to come into government service. And I think it gives me a good perspective on to explain how government service is different from private service, and why I chose government service, how the decision has impacted me, and basically what are the pros and cons for people who are looking to uh, come into the government as a career choice. Uh, I'll start with the preparation part of the journey of getting into government service. The first thing which comes to our mind is, when do we start thinking about coming into government service? Uh, many And in India, we have the situation whereby many of our career choices are decided by our parents. And I've seen many of my close family friends or other people who put their kids into a college thinking that they will be starting into government, they will be preparing for government service right after school. I do not believe that to be a correct choice. What I saw in my case was my father is also in government service. He's an Indian Forest Service officer. What I saw in my case was, government service as an option should be considered once you are through with your college education. And many people like me also, first of all, try to go and see into private sector as to what it is like. Before thinking of government sector, reason being government sector, it's not an interview based job. There is a lot of preparation involved in the kind of roles which you want to go into, and to commit that much amount of time requires ones to have a serious conviction that I want to go into a government job. So it is my belief that one should take things as they come. Post your school time, it is important that you do a course which you like. I did a professional degree. That is important because in India, government job competitive exams, specifically UPSC, apart from hard work and there is always a factor of luck involved. I've had many friends who were much more brilliant than me in IIT, who were gold medalists, but either could not score a rank in UPSC or scored a very low rank in UPSC. This is not totally an exam of intelligence. There are so many other factors involved, and for that reason, everyone, when preparing for government services, always need to have a backup option, and that backup option is provided by your degree. So, a very important part in government services to first of all focus on your education, on your college education, doing something which you love and which you will continue in future if you don't have a government job. Post that, now we come to the question of why is government job a good choice? Uh, Coming from my experience, after completing college, I got a offer from ANZ Bank. It was a working experience. I was posted in Bangalore. My job was to we used to make mathematical models of when a customer goes into a bank and applies for a loan, what rate of interest the bank should offer him. Very interesting job, very mathematically oriented job. And I think doing the job for 6 months made me realize that I would want to prefer to go into a job whereby I personally did not want to super specialize into an area. I wanted to experience different kind of roles, uh, broaden my horizon. My dad being in Indian Forest Service, I think because of him, I was able to understand that coming into UPSC, the job I currently am, you get to work in so many different areas which you would never have been able to work in a private sector. My batchmates who remained in financial services sector over the last 5, 6 to 7 years, they have been working on getting more they are super specializing on either managing risk for banks or developing mathematical models. On the other hand, in my 5 years in IS, I have worked in a cluster subdivision looking at revenue cases, land management. I have worked in Bastar district looking after developmental activities, agriculture, looking after road building. I have worked in Raipur Development Authority looking after construction on town planning schemes. I have currently been posted in institutional finance, whereby on behalf of government, I interact with banks, help facilitate loans. Simultaneously, I've had an exposure in chips, whereby I am helping the state develop IT solutions for services to be delivered to the people. So my gamut of experience in these 5 years has been unparalleled. I don't think any private sector job in the world offers you this level of experience at this earlier stage, as well as allowing you to specialize in multiple areas. With the career still left of me, I would be able to I'll be able to experience so many more different areas. There are 55 government departments in the state of Chhattisgarh. At a district level, you interact with these departments. At a state level, you get to be involved with every department over different parts of your career. So, for me, I think this was the inspiration. I've been a lot. I'm a movie buff. I've seen a lot of American movies, and in India, tend to look at government job as a career in itself. We will clear college, we'll give an exam, we'll get into government job, and that is it. I will now retire from government job. When you look at Western European countries or America, they'll tend to look at government job as a stepping stone, because anywhere in the world, when you go into a public office, government by its nature being understaffed and by the range of functions it does, it gives you a lot of work and lot of exposure at a very early stage. So in US, there's a very big trend of people who graduate from their colleges, especially law. They will go to government, they will work in say attorney office, they will gain exposure, and then they will shift back to private sector. Even in doctors' cases in India, you will see many doctors prefer to work in a government medical college, because the exposure and the kind of cases they get, they will never get in a private clinic. And I think when you look at government job, this is one thing we should also look at. I personally look at my job. Uh, the biggest factor which helped me in shifting from my private sector job to government sector was the fact that 6 months down the line, there was a day, it was Monday, I was supposed to go to office, and I felt like somehow delaying or not going that day, because the work which had been assigned to me the last week wasn't that appetizing. And when I discussed this with my family, that is, my father what said was, do what makes you go to office every day. And in government job in last 5 years, I think that has been the case with me. There hasn't been a single day when I don't want to go into office, because every day is such unique and different challenges which I don't get to experience on regular days. Now, when I talk about government job, I was talking very specifically about IS. But government jobs are not just IS. There are group A jobs. There is UPSC level jobs. There is IPS, IRS, Indian Audit Services. There are state level jobs. There is state level police service, state level civil services. There is engineering jobs. So when I talk about careers in government, let us analyze what a government job has to offer to you, and what are the cons you should expect before coming to a government job. The biggest factor which drives most, as I've seen my batchmates, I've seen many people in my entire family into government service. One of the biggest factors driving into government job is a security of job. We might consider it not that big a deal, but it is a bigger deal if you specifically look after COVID-19. We have seen layoffs in private sector, we have seen salary reductions in private sector. Government job is a stable, secure life for you throughout. There is a set fixed system of promotion, there's a fixed system of retirement which goes with it. This is the first pro. The second thing which you look in a government job is, as I said before, exposure. An engineer in a government job, say a subdivisional officer in PWD, versus his batchmate or his friend from college who has gone into a private sector. An SDO in private PWD might be handling some 40, 50 crores worth of projects. He might be working for different. 1 year he might be in a deputation to our road development corporation building roads. Next year he would have been building buildings. Third year he just might come to a municipal corporation and focus on building public amenities. Correspondingly, his batchmate would be working in as a private sector firm, would be specifically focused on that single road project 2.5 years. So, private sector pays you based on the profits they earn. Thereby, for them to be paying you a salary of X, they need a 10x amount of work from you. That 10x work comes when you super specialize in an area. In a government sector, the salary is not connected with the amount of profit which you bring to the government. Government works in a social enterprise mode of way. So government, when new opportunities arise, they have a limited set of resources and you will be redeployed again and again in different areas. And that is the beauty of this job. You never get bored. Your experience is to a level others don't see. And as I said, every day is a good day. You can see recently the chairman of IOCL on retirement was the biggest Indian conglomerates petrochemical business head. Most government servants, whenever they retire or whenever they take for voluntary retirement, are immediately lapped up by the private sector because of the experience they bring. It's a very unique experience. The other part of it is you have a government house, which because this is an old system, you will be so amenities are well taken care of, your job is well taken care of, your experience is well taken care of. On the other hand, with all positives also come the fact that your salary will also be rising in a small, steady kind of way. So my college batchmates who went to private sector, as on date are earning 10 times as much as me. Someone is in US, someone is in India. But the average multiple of their salaries comes in the range of 5 to 10 times me. Now, this is something you will have to live in a government job. Government always understands this, that by working in government jobs, you get security, you get vast experience. And consequently, the salaries are relatively low when you look at private sector, especially in the upper level, in the group A level jobs. Comparison to private sector, your salaries will be much low. You will not have extraordinary bonuses. Your salaries will not be linked to profits. It's a social enterprise. So I think that's one thing to keep in mind. Different people have different priorities in life. If a priority for you is to have a very cushy life, high earning salary, a good perspective might then be to go to a private sector job. There are also examples of people who come into a government job, work for 10, 15 years, and then leave to a private sector job when a money becomes an issue. Or when money becomes a priority for them. This is not just in bureaucracy, even in army, you have something called a short service commission, whereby people will come, join army, have a 14-year experience, exit, do an MBA, and then go into private sector. Their skills are highly valued. You have led a platoon, you have led so many men into the warfare zone. Your skills of organizations are unmatched. So people get both best of both worlds. They get to enjoy an army lifestyle. They get to see for those young years of life, and post 15 years they get to then go back to private sector and focus on the monetary aspect of life. Uh, when you talk of a life in government job, a life in government job would be like, it's a very typical, the general public perception is government job is a very easy life. You go to office at 10, you come back at 5. I really doubt that. I was in a private sector job whereby I also had a 10 to 5 job. I think the amount of work you do, the timing you spend in office depends on the role you are at. When I was posted in field as a CEO Zilla Panchayat in Bastar, my timings were hardly 9 to 5. They were 9 to 9, specifically with all weekends working. So the same holds in private sector too. Wherever you are in a position of responsibility, your timings will increase. Wherever your exposure to work or field work decreases, sometimes the timings can be manageable. But don't expect that government job means a very easy life. So there's a huge stress you have to deliver, because unlike private sector, you not delivering does not mean a loss in profit to the government. You not able to deliver your job can actually mean a life and death situation for someone in the district, someone in the field, the citizens of the state, who are many of whom are dependent on the state for their lives to continue. State in Chhattisgarh plays a very big part in our economy, in our people's life. Our budget is somewhere 40% of GDP. So you can imagine, for every 100 rupees spent in the state, 40 rupees are spent by the government. That's how big a role government plays. So there is a lot of responsibility. Your decisions impact lakhs of people, and I think once you come into the job, you realize this is a very responsible and very scary scenario also. But because of this, as I said, this exposure provides you so many insights into how things work, so many insights, you get to talk to so many people, which is again not matched in private sector. uh, Coming from my time when I was studying for the government job, I think my biggest queries, one I answered was, I used to think about how a government job compares to a private job. Second thing was, came to fact that what when we prepare for a government job, what if I don't get into a government job? See, for every 100 vacancies out there, the number of government vacancies will be 1% or 2%. So there is always this very real probability that whatever job you prepare for, you will not get into that government job, the one you dreamed of. In that case, many people ask, what do we do? Do we settle for a different kind of job, or do we go back to private sector? I think this question also needs to be answered. When we used to prepare for UPSC, many of my friends also used to give RBI exams. Some didn't give. Now, my friends who are in RBI, most of them are very happy. Uh, Personally, what I felt after talking to many of my friends after the career choices was, we should not, as I said before, we should not treat government job as an end in itself. That's the career choice. I think coming to government job, it is very essential to see why we are coming into it. If you come into it for the reason of the experience you want to do or the work you want to do, it is very important that you then identify the kind of government jobs which provide those experience. RBI as a job is again a very diverse work experience. So all people who had gone into RBI looking into work are very happy. However, RBI as a job is not associated with that public image of a collector or an SP. So people who aspired for government jobs for the social recognition felt very unhappy. So every government job which you go for, they have its certain characteristics. Some post might be very prominent when it comes to social recognition. The post of an SDM, the post of a collector, the post of an SP. Some posts are very important when it comes to the exposure they offer. There's a service in Indian Economic Service. They handle very important economic matters, all financial matters go through them. However, they have a very limited field experience. So I think when it comes to seeing what to do when you prepare for a government job, think of your motives, what kind of work you would want to see, because you would be sacrificing financially for to get into a government job. It is important you find out what kind of profiles you like, what kind of work you like, see which kind of jobs are there, and then prepare accordingly. With the recent amendments and with the coming of a national recruitment agency, I think for a central government level, there will be only two kind of agencies holding recruitment. There will be a UPSC and there will be an NRA. Similarly, in state also we have a state public service commission. So the syllabus doesn't vary that much exam to exam. Once you have 4 5 jobs listed, you can see what syllabus we have to follow, and then prepare accordingly. The second question which comes to this is, the syllabus is so huge, there is so high competition. If I I'm not sure whether I'll be able to get in the one exam I'm trying for versus preparing for 3 4. Uh, Many of our preconceptions about our government jobs as to how to clear them are also based from our parents. The examination system in India has evolved a lot from when our father's generation used to give it. UPSC, for instance, has now become so analytical and so objective that people can actually crack UPSC within a with a timeline of 1 to 2 months of preparation. Because what UPSC now asks, the civil service examinations now asks is one paper for your subject, one essay, and 4 papers in general studies. Every question in general studies is based on something in the newspaper. There is no preset something which you have learned and memorized to memory, and they'll be asking ki why did, ki, give us the day the mutiny happened or there was no mutiny. Everything will be related to how does this impact. So for history also, the question we, for example, got was why have all the big the dynasty changing wars been fought in Panipat? Now, our history books always tell us कि पानीपत में ये 3 लड़ाइयाँ हुई थी, but we never, no history book will ever tell you कि why Panipat specifically was the area chosen. And you then in an exam get 5 minutes to come up with your own idea of how to answer this question. So most of the exams, so UPSC civil service exam, the one I gave, has now become highly analytical. What that requires, so that would not require you to read too many books. That would not require you to dedicate, say, 14, 16 hours. In my personal case, I used to study 6 to 8 hours. I am a big reader of newspaper, articles, magazines. So I used to study my 2 newspapers. I used to study my books. And I think within 6 to 8 hours, I did decently, clearing in the exam both times. And if you look at multiple exams, many of my friends gave SSC also. The syllabus essentially 80, 60, 80% is same. There is mental ability, there is aptitude, and then there is general knowledge. So I think once you focus on one exam in particular, other exams with small effort you can crack them. The only issue is, the only thing you have to remember is have confidence in yourself. In exam time, cracking an exam is only 50% preparation. 50% is just the ability to keep your cool. When you start answering, you are not able to answer 4 questions. You should not then forget the questions you can actually answer. So I've cracked I have cracked my IIT, I've cracked my UPSC, and I've seen smarter people, more prepared people fail because they got scared in an exam. So however you study, however much you study, if you are confident in yourself, and if you think that I've studied to the best of my abilities, I think that makes a difference of 30, 40 marks on the exam day, this confidence itself. I think I've talked in broadly. It's better I would now start, let this be a Q&A session. And I think I'll be getting some questions on the chat.
Sir,
So-
we have our registrar sir and Pro VC ma'am with us. So I request our registrar sir to please enlighten the session. Registrar sir.
Thank you, ma'am. It's really a pleasure
please
to have you,
yeah.
sir, with us today on this auspicious day of Guru Purnima, or you can say Teachers' Day. Since you are guiding so many people in your life, so you being a true teacher, I will first of all wish you happy Teachers' Day, sir. And I was just going by
Thanks,
your
sir.
talk. It was really inspiring for our students also. Just a small thought that has come to me. That can you just enlighten a little bit to us students about, see, as I said, people like you have claimed to a #1 spot by cracking IAS examination. There are thousands and thousands students, those who aspire to become a civil servant, but they could not. Somehow they get into different kind of private or government, both jobs, where the job is not that exciting, like a job that you all are doing. How to motivate one themselves to make it more extended. As you said, one day you feel not like going to office because that job was not that much exciting. It might be happening to many people also, but somehow you have to make yourself little bit of on the edge, because everybody would not get a job like yours. So how to get themselves motivated? If you could shed a light on that, because there will be a lot of students, those will be now after graduation they will be going to different areas and doing work. So how to make themselves little bit of motivated?
So it's an excellent point. Uh, I think to reply to your answer, sir, I'll be using experience of my friends who are in private sector. Uh, See, what we have to realize is, even in government job, it's not about cracking the exam. The room I'm sitting in, I have around 50 books. Every new job I've had to, when I join, I study up their whole acts, the rules, to find out how to solve problems. I think in a job, whatever kind of job you're working on, whenever you start feeling that I am not enjoying the work I'm doing, that just means that the job has now stopped offering you an opportunity to learn more. So I've had friends who have left their job where they were earning more than a crore of rupees to start startups and have struggled for 3 years, and are very happy about it because they said in these 3 years we then started doing what we like. So for all people in private sector, see, the beauty of private sector is job scenario constantly evolves. Every day new kind of jobs are coming. So in your job, whenever you feel that I am not getting challenged enough, there's so many certifications, there's so many now all knowledge is available online. I myself log into LinkedIn Learning to every day, learn new courses, learn new skills. These days I'm working on uh, SharePoint, learning from LinkedIn. My advice to you would be find out what you love doing. Many people love artistry. I have my batchmates in IIT who have spent their entire life studying engineering and now they're out there teaching guitar to online, guitar and piano classes. They earn well, they're happy with the career choice. So whatever you like doing, identify that, and then with the job security of your current job in hand, once you come home from office, focus on building your skills in that area, so that within 1 2 years you can shift to that area. There are many people who have worked. If you see online stories of people who have worked in McDonald's, in their spare time, in 1 year, learn coding, and ultimately shift to Google for that kind of lifestyle. So any day when in your private job you feel that I am not being challenged enough or I am not happy doing this job, find what you like and start working in your spare time to go to that. Never be, please, never be threatened with the fact that I do not have a fancy degree, I do not have a big name associated with me, or my class, my 10th, 12th percentages were low. I think Tesla company, one of the biggest electric makers company, has said that they would not prefer college graduates. India's biggest startup, GOVT, they take up students who actually did not succeed that well in 10th and train them to be computer developers with a very good salary. So, Mr. Adani never crossed 12th. So there's something examples of people at the highest level who haven't focused that much on grades as much on learning. And believe me, the more you your skills are always visible in an interview. So if you have a job you want to shift, start learning on the things where you want to shift, start building expertise, start meeting people. This will ultimately help you shift to that sector. And I think that would be a good step up the ladder for you as well as help you explore new areas.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you, sir. Yeah, we have our Pro-VC ma'am with us. Ma'am, please, if you want to interact with sir, Deepika ma'am.
Good
Ma'am,
morning.
voice is not audible, ma'am. Please check the mic. Deepika ma'am, please check the mic. Meanwhile, sir, you can please, if you can want to answer some of the question our students are asking. What if an idea? I'll show you the question here. What if have an idea to start in a startup? So do I keep it secret or share with the people who are capable to start themselves?
I think, see, startup, let me clarify by beginning. Startup is a very tricky game. So if you think that getting into government service is hard, having a successful startup, the success rate is, I think, 5 to 10 times more hard than getting into IS. I know this by people who I see bringing up startups every day. So it takes a lot of courage to do a startup. But
Yeah.
the good part about startup is you don't need to be an expert in that field to be a startup. So there is a senior of ours, Mr. Roman Saini. Many of you would have heard he cracked IS in the first attempt, and he left IS within 1 year to set up to join a startup, an academy. I think within a period of 5 years, that startup's value as on yesterday is now 12,000 crore. So the question you have is that if you have an idea of a startup, if you have an idea for a startup, you not sharing with others does not help you out. An idea of a startup you need to share with people who believe in that idea so that they can work with you. A single person cannot make a startup. You have a certain set of skills. I might have managerial skills, someone else would have a technical skill. That's why in companies you have a role of chief executive officer, you have a role of chief technical officer. Sometimes you have a design officer. So you need to understand to make the startup run successfully what kind of workforce you need. You need to find people who will help you technically, who will help you financially. And those are the people you need to share this idea with, who will perfect your idea, who will improve upon that idea, and who will be willing to work with you to start up that idea. And lastly, please understand Google was
So,
never the first
yeah, I
search
think
engine.
ma'am is connected with us.
Okay, should I speak now? Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
can you listen? Can you hear me, all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you? Yes. Prabhat, congratulations and very happy to see you here. We have heard a lot of you in the service, young entrepreneur plus a government. So congratulations, Registrar Sir. I'm very happy to see you on the screen also. He's the maker of the maths organization. So let me not waste time. I have a few queries. Being, being in a very transitional stage, I am of an age where I'm associated with the government also, but and I'm in the middle. I'm witness to technology in the past and today when the global village has become a digital global village. We can't do, especially in times of COVID. However, we may say that you must write from your hand and you must teach the primary children, and you are of an age where the next children you must be having small your children, you are just entering into a new generation. So speak from your point of view. Would you like your son or daughter who's only 1 or 2 year old to be in the government or take up a private job? Lot of economic changes are there. Economic balances are obviously very short today with COVID. We human mind can solve all these questions, but there is lot of corruption. In my grandparents' time, getting into the IAS, everybody was looking for an eligible IAS officer for me, and girls were not supposed to work. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little personal angle. So, what uh, advice do you have? One, for the entrepreneurs who are taking money. See, I'm talking in a very direct manner, and they are not,
Yes,
if
ma'am.
they're getting into a government job, they are not interested in the public achievement and progress. And the class 3 and 4 office, the class 3 level people, they want a government job, so that, but nobody's so that they get the salary, security is there, they will get it whether they work or not. Nobody's, even the the poor people, as you say, the working class is not ready to work. They just want a government job. like I have lot of this kind of stuff in my house. So instead of scolding them, because I know they will not work, so it's better to keep a private employee for my help household. I want to shorten the question. So, what is your advice, Prof, for the next generation? Number two, what is your advice from the government changes which should take place? If government nobody wants, like 6 lakh people sitting for the exam, only 50,000 seats, not getting into the IAS and sitting IPS taking 3 trials, and you get a complex if you don't get it. But they are very intelligent people. I was a simple school teacher, but I like to read and teach and all that. Okay, now you answer to these two questions.
Ma'am, they're very relevant questions,
Yes.
ma'am. Actually, very practical to the point. Mine is a very philosophical part. Ma'am, coming to the first part, when not just class 3, 4, ma'am, I have seen my father uh, go after me to come into government service when I was going into private sector at first, or at my sister. To all people who are out there who are looking at this as a government job, as ma'am said, that we get into this, we get a salary irrespective of the work we do. Please understand and please look. Government over the past many years has started focusing exclusively on outsourcing. So many of our jobs are being outsourced. Even at a level of IAS, we are now seeing lateral entry. So for all those people who think that coming into government job and have a rest assured career, it is not entirely the case. Entire over Western world, Europe world, we are seeing governments becoming smaller in size because it is the public money. Public wants efficient use of its money. Secondly, I think if you are capable, if you are an entrepreneurial streak in you, my personal advice, as ma'am said, when my kid comes to that age when he'll be appearing for a government job, if I have a younger cousin sister who are paying for government job, I've always told them, come into government job looking to gain experience, but in the long run, just for the sake of job, don't take a government job because government job with all its experience also imposes you a cap on how fast you can grow. As I said, my batchmates who I left 10 years ago are now earning 10 times me. In say another 10 years, they'll be heading large scale companies. So government job, please look at government job as a transitional, is what I feel is as a transitional job. If you have a very good private sector job in hand, there were jobs in my time in college, which if I had got, I probably would not have come into preparation for UPSC. They were very good, very exciting jobs. And so please understand, let us get away from this system of I will just need a government job. Let us try to find a job. When it comes to economic security, please understand private sector also has an economic security. If you are laid off in a COVID-19, in 3 months onwards, there will be people looking to hire you. India actually has a crunch for good quality manpower. Even governments find it hard to recruit people, good quality manpower. And uh, second part which ma'am said about uh, improving government. See, government itself is now improving. I'll give you an instance. In Haryana, the biggest issue we have with government these days is accessing benefits. I want a caste certificate. I will have to do rounds of SDM office. I want a bank loan. I'll do rounds of that bank 20, 30, 40 days. Continuously calling. Haryana, for instance, introduced something called a Parivar Pehchan Patra. They said you come to us, you give this number. If whenever a kid is born in Haryana and Aadhaar is automatically issued, if his father had a caste certificate with linked to his Aadhaar, his kid automatically gets an Aadhaar on his birth without ever having to apply. So governments over time will now any process which is repetitive, which can be done by a simple, which says which has a process A, if A then B, if B then C. अभी तक गवर्नमेंट में क्या होता था दीज आर द प्लेसेस जहाँ पे रेगुलर लीगल काम कराने के लिए भी आदमी को जाके अप्रोच लगानी पड़ती थी, दे हैव टू गिव मनी. With the advent of IT technologies, all of these functions are going to be done by a computer. So governments over time to reduce corruption, to bring in efficiency, will bring in technologies whereby citizens would probably never need to interact with government. If any one of you has a time, I would advise you to go and look at Estonia. That is a country where tax return gets filled in 5 minutes. And they proudly proclaim 99.9% of the services are online, and except for marriage, death, and property, you never have to enter a government office. And I think that is a country which has been doing this for last 7 years, and probably next 10 years you will find most countries on that path. So the role of government is going to shrink a lot, and that's why also private sector itself will play a big role. So coming back to the main point, coming to government, if you find the role exciting, because
Yeah.
what you see government today will not be the government you will see 5 to 10 years later. Huh.
Yes, sir. It's a really nice answer. That we must decide what is our role and we are going to play in the government and what is attracting us to play in the government sector and what we want to serve through our services in government. It's really nice
Well,
explanation you have given, sir. Sir, I think we can go for one or two more questions. So there is a question like, how can we get money for a startup from MSME?
ma'am, I'm not able to hear you. Can you repeat the question? I think you're correct.
Yeah. The question is how we can get. I will show you how we can get money for a startup from MSME.
Well, ma'am, I didn't get the question. Can you message me or repeat it again? Or
Yeah.
message?
Let me show you some. So is it visible now? How we can get money for a startup from MSME?
Acha, how you can get money for startup from MSME? Uh,
Yeah.
to build startups, there are even government of Chhattisgarh also has a startup called 36 Inc. So anyone who has a good startup idea, you to get money from MSME, you need to make a full presentation deck of your startup idea. Your startup, whatever be the startup idea, it has to be crystal clear. There has to be a plan forward, and you must have built a product which you want to sell. And with that product, you can apply. You can come to 36 Inc. office through chips, or you can also apply to the Government of India startup portal. That would help you get access to startup, and that is a way of accessing. However, your startup will be evaluated on these grounds, whether it is successful, whether it can be funded, and whether that investment will yield a return.
Yeah, thank you, sir. That's a really nice answer. One of our faculty is connected here. Uh, yeah, Sunita ma'am. So one of our students, thanks to you. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with us. But I scared myself. What if anybody having money, they start work on my idea without including me? So there is a question by our
Is
students.
this
Thanks for sharing your thoughts with
is
us.
this the question, Gagan, about the big data?
Yeah. No,
Hello.
sir. It's a question about thanks for sharing the information. But if somebody starts in their idea, because they don't maybe get late to start their idea, but somebody has the same idea and they start, so what they can do?
Ma'am, I'm not able to hear. I think is there a issue on my end of the connection or?
Sir, no problem. Actually, thank you for this session because this will be available We have announced the power failure today at the late night at 10 around 9 o'clock, and I have requested the electricity department to please allow us this session. I convey my really thanks to all of you, the registrar sir, Deepika ma'am, Provisi ma'am, our chancellor sir, our director general sir, and all the management to allow me. And especially thank you to Prabhat sir that you have shared your views and helped us to enlighten this session on this Teachers' Day. I request to sir if you can please send a concluding statement from your end to all of our teacher and the students, sir. Prabhat sir, am I audible to you? I think he got disconnected. Sir, please, if you can conclude the session. I requested actually the electricity department to help us on this session.
Thank you. Thank you all, those who have joined in this session. And I think sir has given a lot of insights into your future aspiration. There are a lot of questions that are there, but somehow someday we will call some other people also, whom you can ask these questions. But thank you all for being there. We'll keep doing this kind of sessions in future with those people, those who really touch great height and are serving well in the state of Chhattisgarh. We'll try to expose you to those people, those who are in a very good position. They understand the state well, they understand the situation well, and they will be able to guide you through. So thank you all for being here, and thank you the Math School of IT for conducting this kind of program on this day of Teachers' Day. I thank all the teachers, those who have put their great effort to make the life of students a great success. And I thank all the students also, those who are really there and uh, giving wishes, best wishes to all the teachers. So thank you, student. Thank you, teachers. I think we will end up here. And next time, whenever there will be another session, we'll again all join to understand this more. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So, finally, we are in completion of this session. On behalf of Maths School of Information Technology, I convey my thanks to all who are directly or indirectly connected with us during this session. Thank you, Maths management team, to allowing us and help us to organize this session well. Thank you, Registrar sir. We are always a mentor and guide and helpful person for us to move ahead. We hope that you can take advantage of all this session as the recordings are available in Facebook and YouTube channel of Maths School of Information Technology official pages. Stay tuned with us. We will be back with more interaction and more entertainment sessions with you. By this, I convey the special thanks to our speaker, Mr. Prabhat Malik, who has given his special time. I convey my hearty thanks on behalf of university. And by this, Dr. Rita Devanji, signing off from this session. Thank you.